Check it out, guys. Finally got me some shade to work on the car because it's usually hot as balls or raining, so works out though. I can actually do stuff now, at least until I have to give this back to my mom. So we got the GTI here, and I'm going to show you guys how I installed the JB1 because yes, I already installed it. I got excited and I didn't want to wait to film it. I'm going to show you where it hooks up to, the easiest way that I found to do it, and then we're going to go for some runs because this thing freaking pulls now. I love it. It's definitely worth it. I see why people are always talking about the JB1 and JB4. It's worth it, especially for the price, guys. The power you're getting for just plug and play. Love it. So some of you guys might be wondering why I have the hood bra back on the Mark 7. Well, I'm not running the APR intake anymore. I'm running the integrated engineering one. So I really don't have to worry about a closed housing intake getting pretty much sucked in on itself and exploding or causing any issues. I was able to put it back on because I'm running the IE intake now. There's really no problem with airflow to the intake since it's an open housing intake. It just takes air from wherever in the engine bay. It doesn't have one specific place to get air like the APR one does. So that is a downfall I see with the APR intake. I know a lot of you guys are excited for that comparison with the intakes. I haven't got around to it yet because I'm trying to work my schedule with all the shows coming up. I'm going to be out of town for UX, that's European Experience, also known as SOO. On top of all that, the guy I usually go to at ASP Tuning has been really busy lately, and he's actually going to a shoot in Israel, which we still don't know if I'm going with him on that or not yet. It's kind of up in the air. But once that's settled, we can pretty much figure out what's going to go down and how our schedules are going to work so we can actually get on the dyno and do some comparisons. So we finally have the HKS blowoff valve installed correctly. And if you guys see here, I actually routed the vacuum line through here and onto the ECS boost tap. So that's the proper way to run the vacuum off of the HKS. Before I was running it all the way back here and into this piece right here. I don't know if you can see that, into there. This has worked a lot better, and I just make sure I have enough so it doesn't pinch up here or anything. But other than that, it's working fantastically. The IE intake as well, doing amazing. Loving everything about this. Over here, if you see, I have the JB1. So this is the JB1 right here. I have the version 1 because the revision is now version 2. And that one is a bit better, I would say. But this comes down here and pretty much has 4 connections. So there's A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to show you guys right now where each of those connections are. On the version 1, there's 4 connections. On the revision, which is version 2, there's actually only 3 connections. So it's actually easier to install on the newer one. So if you don't have one and you purchase one, you're getting the new version and it's going to be easier to install. Alright, so this little Sheila right here is the inlet hose. Under the inlet hose, you're going to find the camshaft sensor. This is what you need to unplug for point E of the JB1 harness. So go ahead and remove the grey tab by pushing it back, and it'll fall right out. After that, go ahead and take the female to male and connect the JB1 pieces so everything fits in harmoniously. So this right here is plug B, and this is the boost sensor on the manifold. Again, to remove it, just go ahead and push the grey tab towards the rear of the car, and of course finish off by connecting the male to female pieces, and you're done. Plug C is going to be on the side of the manifold, and fucking surprise, you're going to have to do the same shit again. Plug fucking D is a raging cunt. If you got a wife, make her do it. If not, well, you're probably a scrawny fuck anyway, so go ahead and stick your twigs in there. If it turns out you got fucking T-Rex arms, you're gonna have to lift her up and get down under. For D, it's definitely a lot harder to get. A lot of people say they'll actually like rip off the belly pan, lift the car, and do all that nonsense. I mean, sure, if you want to, I guess it helps if you don't, have somebody with smaller arms. I was actually able to stick my arm in there and just disconnect it, and then to have it reconnected, I just grabbed my wife, got her skinny little arms to reconnect it, and good to go. I did it all without ever jacking up the car. It literally took like maybe 10 minutes max to hook up the JB1. Very, very simple. I was actually kind of holding off on it for a while because I was kind of intimidated by it, not gonna lie. I didn't want to mess anything up. I didn't want to do something all of a sudden the car just explode. After a lot of research and just kind of like saying I don't really give a fuck anymore, I just slapped it on there, and honestly, I
I should have done it from the start. It was so simple, nothing to it. Really, there's not many repercussions or risk to it because, as many people have said, there is no way to trace JB1. It's not like a real tune that's gonna flash the ECU and they're gonna be able to track it. From what I have read, heard, and everyone I spoke to, JB1 is untraceable once it's off. The dealership or anybody else will never be able to tell that it was there in the first place. If that's something you wanna do, make the car go back to stock without an issue and then sell it, JB1's definitely probably the way to go for that. That or maybe Cobb, but I don't know too much about Cobb, so don't quote me on that. Now we're gonna give it a little bit of a test so you guys can hear how differently this sounds now that it's connected correctly. So we're gonna do some sound tests pretty much just around this parking lot real quick so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like just normal driving conditions. We'll leave the windows down as well just because it's kind of hot and I don't want to have the air conditioning on. That was a scrape. I don't know if you heard that. I'm not even that low. Got a little more zest to it now, and it's more of a straight psh instead of more of that fluttering sound that it was before. That's mostly due to the fact that the vacuum lines were pretty much improperly connected. You can run it that way, it's just not really gonna release boost as it's supposed to. In the installation instructions, it specifically says to make sure to run through a boost tap, so. Definitely has a different sound to it. We'll drive around here for a bit and then we're gonna hop on the highway and see how it does in some pulls. Maybe get a little 0 to 60 on the way to the on-ramp. Still here. I gotta say, with that JB1, it really does pull just that much better. It's almost like the throttle response is better. Not as much, I wouldn't say lag as before, but just delay in that get up and go that y'all wanna feel when you press that pedal down. I don't know if it's the JB1 that's making the blow-off valve a bit louder too, but I think that extra bit of boost might actually be making it sound a little bit more aggressive as well. Sounds good to me though. I gotta say though, as much as I love blow-off valves, that fluttering sound I think actually broke necks just a bit more than this straight up whoosh did. Wow, I actually got some wheel spin there. I have never ever had that before. Taking that corner right there, it just kind of kicked the back end out, wheel spun, and you can hear that blow-off valve just going at it, and man, it sounds good. All right, enough of that horseplay. Let's get to the freeway and see what this baby really does. All right, so as we approach the freeway, I'm gonna roll up the windows and hopefully the audio inside the car catches everything. So here we go. All right, gonna drop it into fourth. And then third, we'll take this ramp all the way up. And I'll try and stay back so I can kind of launch around these guys once we get to the top. Sport mode, traction control off. Here we go. Wow. So that was a nice quick stroke all the way to 6th gear, and I'll tell you, not exactly doing the speed limit, so I gotta say that that's a lot quicker getting there than it was before. Even though we're going uphill onto the on-ramp, it was
pretty much zero resistance. So I'm happy with the way things turned out with this JB1 so far. And take note that this is also on the stock map. This is not any of the different maps. This is legit just plug and play straight off the JB1 right into daily driving. So I'm actually pretty surprised that it's such a large gain, being that it's not really tuned or customized, I guess is a good word for it. So one thing that's great about the JB1 is that you can actually get with certain tuners, including George from or I'll say Burger Motorsports, and he can help you custom tune your vehicle to get the best results for your individual car. The only competition that I can see for this application will be maybe the Cobb access port, which I'm going to be honest, I don't really know too much about Cobb, so everything I'm saying is pretty much just hearsay and kind of guessing. But from what I know about the Cobb access port, it hooks up directly to the OBD2 and allows you to use, I think, 3 off-the-shelf maps, similar to the JB1, but also allows pro tuning, kind of like JB1. So very similar in an aspect, but this one is just plug and play and right out the box, which I really like about that, but allows you for custom tuning as well. And you can take it off, go back to stock, and dealership, friends, anybody you sell it to would never be wiser. All right, guys, we're now back at the house. So pretty much that's it for the blow-off valve. You guys heard the HKS. You've seen a little bit of the torquiness from the JB1. Obviously, this isn't a scientific review. I don't have any dyno numbers or anything but a butt dyno to tell you that the JB1 is worth it, in my opinion. Yeah. Hold on. So as you guys can see, it definitely sounds better now with the HKS correctly set up. Yeah, I actually ran the vacuum lines correctly instead of actually just running them off the block. It's a different sound. It's not like the flutter it used to have before. Honestly, I kind of preferred the flutter, but it probably wasn't too good for the system or the blow-off valve. So I like the way it's run now. Tell me what you guys think. Is it better this way? Did the flutter sound better? Is the Forge blow-off valve better? Because in my personal opinion, I think I like the Forge just a tad better. And when I say I like the Forge better, it's not only because of the install being a lot easier, but I think the sound is actually better in my opinion. The Forge is a bit better of a whoosh, and the sound is just a little more aggressive in my opinion than the HKS. So I mean, who knows? I kind of like the HKS. It looks good in the engine bay, but I might end up selling it. Who knows? But we'll see. What's up? By the way, guys, thank you guys for 5,000 subscribers. I really legit didn't think I had what it took to get to that many subscribers, and yeah, that's a camera. Let's leave it alone. Thank you. But I'm glad we are there, guys. Thank you so much for tagging along on this journey, watching the videos, liking, subscribing, all that good nonsense. But I wish I could meet you guys more often. So I'm gonna try and let you guys know about the shows ahead of time so we can meet up. Again, shout out to my homie Will for the awesome time it stands for. It's like, seriously, you made it, bro. You made it. Bro, yeah, you wanna do it? Come here. Come here. Do it for the bros.
Bros.
Yeah, pound it. Do it for the bros.
Bros.
Yeah. All right.
Bros.
Yeah, bros. Okay.
Bros.
Okay. I gotta finish the video, okay? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments of this.
Bros.
God damn it, Liam.
Bros.
If you guys liked the video, be sure to like it, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, yeah, high five. You got it. Yeah, high five. You want to do it too? All right, come here. Come here. Do it.
Bros.
All right. Deuces.